Welcome to the Young Creative Agency podcast.
Hi guys, welcome to the Young Creative Agency podcast. This is a podcast about business, agency life, marketing and e-commerce and business in general. So today we're going to start off and we're going to talk about the story of the Young Creative Agency. Ash's story, where it all began, Ash being the founder, and then how we kind of partnership and how we met and how we got together and how things are going. This is the second time trying to do this because Karis, during my intro, was very rude. Had a breakdown.
She's gonna lose it again now.
in tears. So Karis, please, let's start off the podcast with what's so funny about my introduction.
What's going on? What's in that sippy cup?
She's composing herself. But Ash, how's it going, buddy? How's your bank holiday?
To be honest, I did absolutely nothing.
Absolutely
I
nothing.
just slept all weekend.
Gotta take a weekend off again.
Preparing for this.
Yeah.
Trying to get my life story straight.
Well, we did try and do it on last week,
Last
Thursday.
Monday.
And do you want to tell the people how it went?
Awful. Absolutely awfully.
Go on to a few more details.
What, when we did the podcast on Monday?
Yeah.
Well, I cocked up and the cameras turned off.
Yeah.
The audio just didn't work.
How long were we deep?
About 40 minutes in.
Yeah.
We needed Stuart badly.
Yeah.
We needed him in. If there's a camera right now, we'd show it you, but
Steve's
hiding.
back in action.
he's hiding behind the cameras.
Hello. Steve's back in action today, so it should be alright.
It should be good. It should be good. The first one was good. We had a good response.
Yeah,
didn't
like it was good, wasn't it? It was really, really good.
good. I think it's like over 100 views on YouTube, which it's not much, but
Yeah.
it's good enough for a first.
Yeah, for a first
episode.
Yeah, loads of good responses. Loads of people messaging, asking whether they can watch and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So,
No, it's good. I think Karis has got points to go through today, haven't we? To run through.
Definitely, yeah.
Ask us questions, and then
Yeah.
I'll try and remember because I don't know. It's
a long way to go back.
It seems like
isn't
such a long time ago.
Yeah.
It's only like 2-3 years, but it seems
So
like
much
a
has
lifetime.
happened.
even the last 6 months feel like
The last 6 weeks.
they feel like
Everything's
a
just
lifetime,
gone crazy.
Let's be honest.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been like a yo-yo up and down.
It's been emotional.
It's been
I don't know how we're sat here
I
right
know.
now.
I
That's
know.
good.
We've made
Well, I think what we should do then, go from the beginning, like start from the very start and just say, how did you even come up with the idea of starting an agency and how did it all begin?
Yeah, to be honest, I didn't have an idea to start an agency. It was me and a camera. I worked in-house at a fashion company, men's online clothing, and I pretty much did everything. I did the photography, the marketing, the graphic design, the sales, the fulfillment, the returns, the email. I just did everything pretty much, and I just saw I saw how impossible it was for one person to start an e-commerce brand or a clothing brand. But then I saw on the other hand every single person starting an e-commerce or a clothing brand, and I don't think they understood what actually has to go into it and like, the level of like commitment and money and time that you have to put into actually starting it up from scratch. So I did that for like 12 months, I think, left because there wasn't enough money. It just wasn't.
12 months is a long time.
Yeah, I learned a lot in there, to be fair. I did the whole month, my first month there, I did it by myself. We only went on holiday.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I just ran it by myself. And came back and I'd made more money than what he had done.
Yeah.
So I knew that I'd never done it before, but I knew that I could do it. So I left, started literally with a camera, just doing everything and anything that I possibly could. Headshots, weddings, events, nightclubs, pictures of bloody furniture, I don't know, everything, just that to get some practice because I couldn't take a photo.
So
when
did
I
you
first
get into
started.
the photography side because of the brand?
Yeah, so I saw a gap in the market that obviously like people needed content because I saw things were going the e-commerce way and social media, obviously. That was around for a long time then. And yeah, I saw that everyone needed it. So I just thought, well, to practice my skills, I'll do everything at the moment, obviously to earn money as well. But the goal was to set up the Young Creative Agency. And I think when I set it up 2 years ago now, it was photography, videography, a modeling agency, a studio, express e-commerce, which does still exist kind of now. But it was loads of different businesses that I set up.
You had a load of
I had a load of ideas, but I didn't know how to bring it all together and form it. But I guess that's where we met you then. It's like a couple of years down the line.
Yeah.
Got this place, I think October 21 now? October 2019. Got this place with no money and then just pushed everything into it.
Yeah.
pushed everything, that rented my house out, sold my car, got rid of absolutely everything in my life, and just put every single penny into this place, every single month. Didn't take a salary for like 6 months to a year probably, and then hired a videographer, and then and I think it was like only after the 4 or 5 months after the videographer started, like I met you then, and you started running ads for Express, wasn't it?
Yeah, as a client. It's mad when you say 2 years, because it does feel a lot longer. Like, because even when I knew who you were, and like reached out to you and stuff like that, like it seems a long time ago. So
how long ago was it? Like, it is 2.5 years ago, isn't it?
Yeah, it must be. Like, I don't know how long ago I reached out to you.
I think it was like
Christmas time. Start, like
Christmas time, 2019.
Yeah.
Beginning of 2019.
Yeah.
Because I mean, like, because of COVID in the year, like pretty much just doing nothing.
Just blends all
I have no idea how long it's actually been now. Like,
yeah.
And to be fair, none of this has really like kicked off until COVID.
No.
COVID was the real catalyst in getting it going.
Well, that was
and, like,
the whole catalyst for Express e-commerce.
Yeah.
Go into detail what that is.
So Express e-commerce, you can order product photography online, and they just pick it up from DPD and then ship it to us. We take all the photos, ship it back. It's like 4-day turnaround, and it's like really, really cheap. That's with the first model. That's where we started. Yeah. And that's where we met. Yeah. And that's where you started running ads.
Yeah, because obviously you had this good idea. You just didn't. You understood that it needed marketing.
But I didn't. Yeah, I
didn't really know the execution of how to.
I didn't really know what you did, to be honest with you. I was just like, I like the look of you. Like the Instagram profile.
Look at me.
I like the look of you. I was like, this guy looks legit.
This charming face.
Yeah, he looks legit. He looks like he got some money. I could do some of that.
Yeah, just
it worked.
Yeah, it worked.
No, I mean, I knew I needed to advertise it, and obviously Instagram being so competitive and Facebook, you can't really organically. Well, you can't organically sell a product. No. Not anymore. It's the proof's in the pudding. That's what we do now. Be
a 1 in a million brand.
Yeah, you got something like so unique about you, and that business idea wasn't unique. Like there's other ones that are doing it in London, but there's no one doing it around here or this area. And I just thought I could put a different spin on it, and putting the spin on it into like the talent catalogue, having a modeling agency that we can pick our models from, having the studio space, having the in-house studio space. So that's where like the first ideas came from. Yeah. Trying to like basically a fashion brand could come to us and they would have to do nothing and they would get their content every single month for their advertising. But then that's where further on down the line I went bankrupt because I realised you can't make money off content. Yeah. Like it's literally impossible to make money off content unless you're so specific and niche in like one style of content that you create. Unless you do that, it's really hard. Yeah. And I guess that's where we came together in that partnership, isn't it?
Yeah, because we were obviously before that point, like we were working together for like maybe 2-3 months.
3 months, I think it was. Yeah.
Yeah, 3 months. And
tell him what you did to me in those 3 months.
I rinsed him. I mean, like I say that like Jesus, no, I didn't, not purposely. Like you obviously came to me and you wanted to get busy quick. Yeah. Right? So my goal was obviously to get a lot of people signing on to this Express e-commerce, which because the business side of Express, because it still exists and it's a separate company to Young Creative Agency, it's actually a really good idea in terms of like the philosophy of like just being able to send your stuff, having your product photography done, and then the stuff being sent back to you in like such a short turnaround. I was like, this is going to be easy to market. So we did all the Facebook ads. The problem with it is that when, say for example, at the time we needed that quick influx of business, you're fully dependent on the brand itself in terms of like releases, sampling, when they need to even be doing this product photography. So he was getting like so many leads, but nothing was materializing. They were all leads, but they were like, how long later? Like 6 weeks?
6-7 weeks.
6-7 weeks
2 months
until
afterwards,
they monetized. So considering like he hadn't really done any sort of like digital marketing before, and it was like a double-edged sword, yeah. So he's got my fees to pay, he's got his advertising fees to pay, and at the time he's just paying for leads and nothing is converting, you know. So
it's very expensive.
It became, that first 6 weeks became very expensive because he was seeing nothing back. So we were running it, and it's scary for someone who's never done anything like that before, just to see the money going out.
What's like the biggest risk you had to take, wasn't it? Really?
Yeah,
Because
well,
you were
I think
losing
financially
money, you
at
weren't
least,
seeing
yeah.
anything come back.
Yeah.
And that would have been such a stress. But
Oh, you were stressed at one point.
oh yeah,
yeah.
oh yeah.
He called me once.
Yeah.
And he was like,
This is why I'm surprised we're sat here now.
he called me once and he was like, mate, what's going on? And I explained, like, you know, these are all like super qualified leads. They'll just convert when they're ready to convert. And, you know, that did happen, didn't it?
Yeah, it did finally come round, and then we got so busy, we had to turn the ads off.
Yeah, so within like say if he had nothing for 6 weeks, and then he had 6 weeks of just madness, so we had to turn the ads off. But then because the ads were off, nothing then came in.
No. It was such a hard, like, it was like a balancing act, but it was so hard to get busy enough, but and to fulfill the work, and then to plan ahead for more work and schedule all that in. And to be fair, like, even now, even at the size that we are, it's still a challenge, isn't it? Because the busier you get, the more you take on. Sorry, she just wants to move.
Billy, our mascot.
Go on, girl.
Mascot.
She good.
She's the manager.
She's been good as gold.
She's the real boss, as you can see.
Okay.
But see how much she just
She
drops
laughs
herself down. I've lost my thought.
About balancing work.
Yeah, it's balancing getting the work in, finding the work to bring it in, producing it at a quality that is obviously going to keep them, bring them back, but then also like trying to get new work in, do marketing, and then customer service with the clients you do have. Like that whole thing in itself is like, Karish, you know, because since you've started, that's mainly the only thing that we've been like working on. And I mean, 7 weeks now you've been here and we're still working on it. I mean, I've been doing this for 2.5 years. And I'm literally still working on it. And there's two things that's the main thing that people miss is the risk and the investment. Because I risked over £200,000 in 2 years. But when I started, I was broke. So it was where did I get £200,000 from? Just being resourceful and literally like never, ever, ever giving up. And then constant progression. Like people think that like once they've got to a certain point, they're like, oh, chilling, I'm a photographer now, I'm a videographer, I've got these clients, like I'm good to go. But you've seen like in the last month how quickly things drop off. You've got to innovate
things change
constantly.
so quick. But I think it's like the people who are successful in business and just successful in anything are the ones who can react the quickest.
Well, that's COVID, and that's
COVID is a prime example because I was listening to someone say. It was on another podcast, but it was like completely unrelated to business whatsoever. But the guy who was talking was quite a successful businessman, and he said, "You know whether you're the correct person to like work for yourself when times are hard, but not when times are easy."
Yeah.
So if you're going like this guy, he must be in his 50s, but like he'd gone through like 2 recessions, he'd gone through like losing businesses.
Mate, when times are easy, I struggle. I'm not productive at all.
Day,
I'm not, and I got to work on that because obviously I don't want times to be hard my whole life. But when times get like, when like there's a hiccup or like if a massive blow or something happens, every single time it's always pushed us like 10 steps forward. And it's that mentality of like, right, we've lost this now, so fuck it, it's gone, don't care. And then like, right, what do I need to do now to get way ahead of this? It's not like not sitting on it and letting it like bother you really.
I think
Tough skin, don't know.
I think for us as well, like we'll go back to like when you hit like rock bottom, for example. But
only October last year.
Yeah, it wasn't that long ago.
October 2020.
Yeah.
Is it 21 now?
Yeah.
2020.
The goalposts always move, right? So for example, at the time, being like bankrupt was your rock bottom.
Yeah.
Which to be fair is the most rock bottom.
Yeah.
Bankrupt
Like,
and in 150 grand of debt.
yeah, like that is like well and truly rock bottom. But then the goalposts will move. So say for example now, without saying any specific numbers, say if the company hit a month where it was below a certain expectancy from us, from me and you, that is like our new rock bottom.
Well,
and then that's when we switch. Do you know what I mean?
And that's literally just from us sitting in here and having conversations and not really giving a shit about what targets we're setting for ourselves. Because I think we've sat there and we've put like good 8, 9, 10 figures of what we want.
Easy.
But we don't sit there and go, oh, that'd be good, wouldn't it? We're like, right, how are we going to fucking do it?
Yeah.
How are we going to get it done?
Right.
And every single time something like hiccups, we go, right, this is just going to make us get there even quicker. And I guess that's the mentality that you got to have. And that's the reason why in the 6 months since we've been together, it's just gone from like bankrupt, rock bottom to now, like pretty much, I'd say one of the most successful agencies in terms of what we are doing at the moment.
Tell a little bit about, because you were a client of mine when you went bankrupt, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Because you had this idea to partner with me.
Yes. Well, we were in partnership when I went bankrupt. It was just at the beginning.
Right at the start.
Yeah, because obviously we were creating content, and then you deliver that content, and then what do you do? They would post it on their Instagram, they chuck it on their website or something, and that's it. And then you'd be like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
And then you'd never work with them again, never speak to them again.
Yeah.
They'd never know how valuable your work is, so then they would never come back, or they'd always think they'd need to go to another content creator because they're going to create something different and better. And that was where that's where I noticed that like you can't monetize content. Like
and at
a
the
lot
time
of people,
you were very much like undercharging as well.
yeah, massively undercharging, and that is, from a viewpoint, changed everything. The moment we just up our prices, we attracted the better clients because we were charging the right.
Because he did a shoot for me, and I think it was something stupid low, like silly. Because I'd done videos before for the projects and stuff with clients. So
I charged you 400 quid.
It was like 400 quid for a day, and like
in this place in the studio with
with
staff,
everything, it was
three
like
staff members at the time.
The whole day was focused on me, right?
Yeah.
400 quid. I was like, what? And we were working together at the time. He was a client at the time, and I said to him like, this isn't sustainable at all. Or I knew, because we were getting to know each other slowly, I knew his ambition on where he wanted to be in terms of like what sort of monthly revenue he wanted to do, where he saw the company going. And I was like,
it's not gonna happen.
It's not gonna happen like this. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
You need to have God knows how many staff churning things out a super high volume to get to any of the numbers that he had in mind. So the problem I always saw with you is that you provided the value in terms of the quality of the work. The service wasn't ever a problem.
No.
But the one thing was just simple confidence in terms of knowing his value in terms of what he was doing. I think as well, I don't know, you can correct me, but like the creative space is so competitive that some people just go into bidding wars.
Oh, people undercut people
all
constantly.
the time. Yeah.
We've literally experienced it most recently.
Yeah.
Like now, when we were working for us, they charge an X amount, and they go and they charge like peanuts, and they're literally undervaluing everybody in the agency, which, in the industry, which is the issue. That's the problem, because people can go in and charge so cheap.
Yeah. Especially if it's going straight to a consumer.
Yeah.
So say, for example, someone like me who isn't a photographer, isn't a videographer, doesn't really know the difference between, say, like a good video and like an insanely high quality video. It then just becomes a question of pricing, right?
Yeah.
So I think when you switched up your idea of your value prop, that's kind of
it's when I proposed to you that we partner and we offer the combined service of content, and that's and that was where like the whole like this company now really started, doesn't it? Because
it's the same.
The same model, but just a bit more like tuned in. But I was creating the content, and then you were running the ads, but we were doing it separately.
Yeah.
And you were just charging me the fee.
Yeah.
Every month.
That was the logistical.
And that's where it didn't work. Yeah.
Yeah. Because oh my god! Sorry, guys.
Lloyd's died.
The minute we agreed to do that, yeah, Jesus. Go on. It's not quite like a water to clear the throat, is it? But it'll do the.
This will dissolve anything, I think.
Yeah, true. But yeah, like as soon as we agreed to partner, we did have a huge influx of work quite quickly.
Yeah.
And do you know, to this day, I can't even remember where all the work came from. Was it converted
Instagram DM? We converted, I'd say about 60% of the Engraving's existing clientele. Super low pricing though, again. Yeah. And then Instagram DMs. Yeah. Going hard, like literally like 6 hours a day, just messaging people, engaging, working on it, just trying to find the right people, spending a lot of time just talking to people, networking.
How did that conversation with you both come about then? Because didn't you ignore him on Instagram?
At the very beginning.
That was the very beginning.
Yeah.
You DM'd me I think you just DM me to just to meet, just to chat,
Just
and
to
just to see how
network,
things
like.
going.
So, and this is like
It's a
when
freak.
this isn't when we partnered. This is when he first started the Young Creative Agency.
Okay.
So I just saw what he was doing on Instagram because I knew a few people that he was shooting with, and it kept popping up on my feed all the time. I was like, oh, this guy, like, you know, it's a good connection to have because, like, I'm an ads guy, and I got people who need content all the time, and I myself personally know my content for my business at the time was absolute crap. So I need to speak to this guy. Just literally was reaching out, not even for business. It was just wanting to network with him, get to know him, maybe pop down to the studio, just have a chat. Because I knew, like, we were in the same industry, but completely different ends of the industry. So I was like, okay, have a network. Slipped into his DM. And he read it and didn't reply. How rude! I couldn't believe it. And you can imagine me, like, you know me. I was like, ignorant prick. I was like, you know what I mean? And saying that now, like, looking back, I'm now, like, converted into the worst person with my phone. So now,
you're the biggest ignorant
how I
prick.
felt with you is, like, probably how 99.9% of people think about me.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, sorry. But, yeah, just messaged him looking to network. And then
Well, it was when
Express kicked up.
I messaged him back then, and I was like, let's have a chat. And I just asked what you did, and I was like, that could work for this. And then we just started communicating as a client, as Express, wasn't it?
I popped down to the studio, like, before he, like, signed up to anything. Like, I came down here because I think you were my first ever, like, Welsh client.
Mm.
Oh.
Honestly, like, I'd never worked with anybody, like, that I drive to have a meeting to.
Yeah.
Everything was over Zoom, and it was like mid-COVID at the time,
we
wasn't
just
it?
don't go for
We were just like, oh, you know, business, sort of thing.
it.
So
Was.
came down, we had a chat in the unit, got a bit of a plan together, and then we were good to go from there. But he was the client of mine first. Then to be fair, all of our partnerships, he's always proposed it to me. And he's always been a little shit. And he's always sprung it on me out of nowhere. Caught me a such
Timing is everything.
Yeah, like, and I'm like, oh my god.
But no, to be fair, from the moment that I, like, started working with Lloyd and I could see what he could do, that's when I started getting the idea for merging them and bringing them together.
Yeah.
Because I saw what you could do with the ads, and I knew what we could do with the content. And well, you were advertising other people's content, so I was like, well, that was always, like, in my head. I was like, yeah, this could work. I think it was probably like 3-4 months, 5 months maybe before I proposed anything to, isn't it? Like,
yeah.
But I was like, I knew what I wanted. I knew that I needed to lock you in straight away. And it's because of this business model. Because we've seen it. We've talked to people who work with, like, the creators like Nike and Adidas, and they've never seen this type of model in the way that we're doing it.
Or if any of this model even exists slightly, like, we've had people come back to us who were quoted. Someone was quoted 50 grand for research the other day.
70.
Yeah, something like ridiculous, like.
Which is what research for what?
Yeah.
It was stupid.
It was a very silly number.
So, like, because we don't really charge. We're expensive, but we're not expensive for what we provide.
Well, we were talking about it the other day. We're actually not expensive.
No.
Like, you know, if you came to me and Ash separately for what someone gets, it would still work out significantly more than what people pay now.
Yeah, it's a cheaper.
The amount of
cheaper.
stuff that goes into what we deliver,
It's a lot.
to clients is ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's an awful lot.
To be honest, so.
That's where logistically, when we first partnered, that's where it went all wrong, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Because when he first offered like, to partner to me, it was.
I'm sorry, can you stop there? I can't. My stomach will stop rumbling. My stomach literally.
What
the fuck? What's going on? Why every single? I'm gonna smash a bagel or something quickly.
Are you my country now? Are you?
What, like? That's funny.
Polly's gonna go perfectly.
Lucky we can take cuts and stuff.
Yeah, no, I can join them right in the centre there, see.
She's like, we'll take my seat.
Yeah, let's do it.
Right. I've got a question.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, we got all that.
All the way through that, yeah, of course.
Oh, lush.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, lush.
So yeah, I even refocused it so we can see you on the door.
You prick.
So aggressive.
Last two.
Oh, is it? Oh, sorry.
Last two.
Aggressive.
I'm hungry, maybe.
Yeah, I think that's
This
weird.
isn't good.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, right. You ready? If looks could kill right now, I'd be dead.
I straight up like in my that wasn't aggressive or this like yeah. It's
I
just
thought that
curious.
was for a second there, I was like, Carol's opening up a subject was about being dead. Kill. Like, what the fuck is
Like a
that?
chapter in a book.
Yeah.
Right, okay. What's been the biggest learning curve that you've found, like, starting the agency, and I guess the biggest hurdles that you've had to overcome?
Yeah, well, I think it's the same, isn't it? Like, you've got to do everything to get to one point, and then to get to the next, you've got to do complete opposite of what you've done. So I guess it's like the biggest learning curve is being ruthless and being like decisive and just taking action, but then also knowing when to like cut your losses and just move and move on to the next thing, like divert. Don't get too like emotional about what you're doing or anything really, and just be ruthless and just get it done. And just I think that's probably the biggest lesson I've learned. The biggest hurdle is stop spending money.
Oh my god.
I knew I was going to react, but spending money isn't always the best thing.
No.
But I do like spending money.
That's still something you're having to work on, isn't it?
Yes, but it's on a daily thing.
And
Yeah.
I'm helping.
Stuart
Yes.
is not
Stuart.
helping.
Stuart's.
People that don't know, every single day she was like, Ash, can we get this? Can we get that? No.
Yeah.
And I'm just there in the conversation, like,
I'm
I'm not gonna say anything.
I'm just in the corner like shaking.
Yeah.
Sweating. Like thinking, oh my god.
We don't have to buy it again, though, don't we?
Because I know Stu's gonna ask Ash, and Ash is gonna turn to me and go, so, and I'm gonna be like,
I don't even ask you anymore because
I
I'm just
know.
like, no, I'm done as well.
yeah. But yeah, I think
You've done me with spending, so thank you. I no longer want to spend any money because of
at
Stuart.
least we nipped it all in the bud for 1 month.
Yeah, it's done.
Yeah. But I think what you said about like the emotional side of things as well, because you being obviously the person who started it all off, right? At the end of the day, it's your baby and it's always going to be a baby.
Mm-hmm.
So when things go good, go bad, whatever, however they go, you're always going to be emotionally invested into the
Yeah,
baby.
it affects your life in every way. Really.
Yeah,
I guess there
100%.
is one of the biggest learning things. I guess is that you have no life. Like if you really want to make it and you really want to like make a difference and actually like set something up that'll set us up for the rest of our life, you can't have a life for such a long time. You've got to sacrifice everything.
well, this is
Like-
your life.
Yeah, we've got to
Yeah.
sacrifice everything else.
business
that
is your
doesn't-
life.
If it doesn't make sense for this, if it doesn't make sense to what you want to do, just don't do it.
Yeah.
Just simple as that. Like people are so like, oh, I need to go out on the weekend and see my friends. Oh, I need to socialise. Or I've got to keep that relationship or balance. Balance? What the fuck does balance mean? You get balance once you get to that point, but like you got to do everything first to get there,
Yeah.
and that's when you flip it. Then you
So
don't have
it's all
to do everything.
choices at the end of the day. It all comes down to how much you want something or versus how much you want something versus like the sacrifices
What you're
and
willing
the
to give up
cost.
for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What you're willing
Exactly.
what you're willing not to have and not to
Yeah.
go with. I didn't go with a home for 2 years, no car, no like, didn't buy clothes, didn't go on holiday, didn't see my family. Literally, like lost my relationship with my family because I was like so invested in this. People would message me, just ignore, and like that's not me being. That wasn't me being a dick, but I just knew that there was no other way that I could get to this point now, like we are today, and that I didn't just commit 100%.
Yeah.
Like that's probably the biggest learning curve. Like just 100% committed, and just ruthless.
And to be fair, you have got better with the money side of things as well.
Yeah.
I'll take some credit. For
Yeah, 100%. I'll give it to you.
The thing is, like, when we first partnered, especially when we became like partner, like legally, like
Shareholders.
shareholders, and he had to break down the expenses of the company. Like I was always in
You slapped me.
oh my god, I nearly died. I was like, what have I got involved with?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But I've always been taught by, especially my granddad, who was super old school, right? That a successful business is a business with really low overheads. Now, my expectation of low overheads was a little bit different to this place's overheads.
And you've come to learn though that
it
just can't be
you
done.
can't like a place like this can't operate without the facilities, the equipment, and the people.
Staff, yeah.
They're the three things that I've had to slowly adjust my mentality to, because when we first broke down the accounts, I mean, it's thousands of pounds a month of like just bills and, you know, building, staff, equipment, just things you wouldn't even think about. Even things like, you know, pensions.
Yeah.
And the taxes that come on with employers,
national insurance.
Yeah, it's like
PAYE.
because people don't realise this, that people think having staff is all hunky dory and really easy, and you just get people to work for you. But every single staff member in the building costs me and Ash 20% more than they actually get paid, which people don't understand. So when you accumulate that over a certain amount of people, all of a sudden you're talking 30% more, 40% more.
Yeah.
Well, it builds up, doesn't it? If you have like 4 staff, that's what 80%. 80% of money
of someone's wage
gone.
It's like having, if you had 4 staff, it's essentially like paying tax and expenses of another person's wage.
Yeah.
So that's where people misunderstand, and a lot of people, when they do run the logistics of the business, they just go, they just don't even realise. But we were advised very well from the beginning when employing people, weren't we?
Yeah, we got good business mentors, both of us, haven't we?
Yeah.
Which does help a lot, because we're able to ask these sort of questions and know it from the beginning, not learn too many mistakes. But we have learned mistakes with staff. We've gone through plenty already. We've gone through plenty already.
Yeah, for sure. But you know, gotta kiss a lot of frogs, haven't you? But I think as well, like surrounding ourselves with good people.
Yeah.
Like we always said, like we're looking for them unicorns, and and luckily with you two, I think we found 2.
What are you doing?
Oh my god!
You're just in the background like this. Okay.
Oh, if people saw you, we gotta get a camera on you. We gotta make that change.
It'll just be like here. So it's like a freaking like where the planes go over the heads. Person, like it's like that.
We gotta sort
like
that
cameras
out.
over the top.
That was too funny. That was a moment that is missed now.
Well, I guess then let's talk about now. Let's talk about 2021. What's going on? What has changed? Like from the start of this year to now already.
Everything.
Tell the people.
People know us as the Creative Agency, and they know me, and they know you, and they know us as like people in that. I don't think people really understand like what it is we actually do.
No.
But to be fair, it's because we're always adapting and evolving, and we never, as an agency, as a small young company, we're never stopped. We're always evolving, aren't we? And that's one of the keys to the success, I think, is we're never ever stopping. Like every single like Monday and Thursday when we sit down, by the end of it, we've got a slightly altered, adjusted plan.
We're always making tweaks, and whether or not it's not essentially the business model that's changed, because like the whole idea with
what is it? Explain it.
Okay, so our business model is we provide content for your ads. So we do everything in-house, and the whole value, because that's very simple, that's like the bare bones of it, but the whole value is we will make your ads, we will make the content for your ads, we'll run it against Facebook, Snapchat, TikTok. We'll see then the data of what's working, what's not working, who's engaging with what audiences are working, and then relay that back to a creative team and the creative guys in the company to then make the next batch of content depending on what's working.
It's all data-driven content.
It's all data-driven content. So it's not a question of like we just throw something at the wall, hope it sticks.
But it's not like saying like, oh, that model looks cool. Oh, London's cool, or Bristol's cool. Let's go to the street and whack some photos, which 95% of people do.
Yeah, and you can get as granular with it as you want, right? So, say for example, Lexington's a good example, right? So, for people who don't know, they sell like accessories like chest rigs, backpacks, bags, even clothes. But they've got a load of different sub audiences. So they've got like people who go to festivals, people who go to the gym, people who are just into their streetwear. So we can make content for the festival goer, content for the gym goer, content for, you know, people who just like streetwear and are more fashion forward, and then we can run those specific creatives against the specific audiences, and we can change that every single week, every single month, depending on how they perform. Nobody else can do that.
There's the speed of what we can churn around as well. And it's the holistic viewpoint, because we do the ad copy. We ensure we do full web checks and health checks to make sure, because we do a lot of other stuff for the brands, but
people have come for us just for websites.
Yeah, our main offering is a 90-day paid
profit program.
Thank you.
Well done.
That's why I'm a business partner. Finish my sentences.
And the 90 days is something which is super important. Depends where you are in your business journey, in terms of if you're doing certain numbers with how established is the company. But 90 days is what we have, over experience in doing it, have figured out that's the perfect time to start to see if it's going to work or not.
Yeah, well, I guess we've been doing this for 6 months, 7 months now, this model. And in those times, we've had about 20 clients. So we've had a good amount of case studies, and we've trialed the process and the system enough now to know what works, how it works, when it works, the timescales that need to happen, what needs to go into it, what revenue they need to be doing, what profit margins they need to have, what cost their products need to be. There's so much stuff that goes into creating content that nobody even looks at. They don't even look at it. They go product, model, image. But there's so much more to it than that. There's so much more you can get into it with all the data that we collect as well. It's a compounding effect, isn't it? The more and more data we get, the better that we can better we can create the content. And we got one client now, jewelry brand, reaching, they're about to go over 100k, and the content from now is easy because
and
they spend hardly anything on ad spend. That's because they've been with us 5 months, nearly since the beginning that we started this. But now we know exactly what works. They don't need to test anymore, and we can just churn out the content cheap for them, and the results are just incredible.
Yeah, it does take time. People think because it's digital, because we produce the content so quick, the results happen just as quick. It does not work like that.
No.
And people really get misled by influencers, even YouTubers. It's easy. I can go on my Instagram and post my top 3 clients who are doing a few 100k. Their ROAS are people would have never seen a ROAS or return that good ever, no agency. But that's not realistic at all. They don't see the other 10, 20, 30 clients who day to day you have to grind out results for them. So that's the problem. A lot of people, they love a bit of smoky mirrors. They're just posting the best. They're not posting the realistic. So then when companies come to say, people like us, and they're like, oh, how realistic is a 15 ROAS?
No.
A 15 ROAS? Are you all right? I've got accounts, right, which do, and we've got accounts that do 10 to 15 ROAS. We've even had days where we've hit 28 ROAS. But even those clients that come to us asking for a 15 ROAS, are you all right? So for people who don't understand, that's whenever you put £1 into marketing, your ROAS is your return back. So your return on ad spend. So if you put £1 in, they'd be expecting 15 back. So if they were to spend £1,000, they'd expect 15k back from that grand.
That's crazy.
If everybody could do that, do you think anybody would be doing anything else?
Yeah.
Do you get if it was that easy?
Yeah.
And all of these fashion brands that we speak about and we see come through our desk every single day, it'd be a lot easier and everyone would be Nike.
Yeah. Exactly.
But it's not.
But I think going back to Karis's point of what we're going to be doing now in 2021, I think because we've nailed down this system and process, I think we're pretty close now. I think we still got some more work to do in it. But I think for us now, it's being even more specific in who we work with now. And we have the power now to, when we want to work with somebody, we're not just going to accept every Tom, Dick and Harry.
No.
Because when we've learned that mistake, because we did do that, and it becomes more detriment to us and it ends up costing us more money than what we're even earning in the first place.
Yeah, because we make on our side of business, we make our money from client retention, not from signing new clients. We make our money from keeping clients. And I think going back to what you said, all of the changes in 2021 are internal changes, not our service offering, what we do. It's mainly
how we do it,
how we
get better at it,
operations,
quicker, faster,
and just streamlining it. Yeah, like quicker, more efficient.
Which is where a lot of people don't understand as well, because we're at a position now we could very easily not do that and just rinse the company of cash every single month.
Oh yeah,
and me and you would be probably be like 10 times richer than what we are now.
Yeah. But
we're still at this point, and yet we're literally probably putting in like 100% back into it every single month, developing, progressing. We don't have to. We probably could be at a point where we'd be like, right, we'll just do this and chill. But we always, that's what we always have the aspiration to get further, go better, do better, which a lot of people like, they stop. They don't have that in them to keep pushing in, because the amount of money that we spend on the clients that we have, most of the time outweighs what you even pay us. But we're in it for the long game.
There's been some people, and this is like rightly or wrongly on our side of things, that we've flogged a whole month's retainer on reproducing their content because we weren't happy with it.
Yeah.
And there's got to be scenarios that you do that for people because of customer experience. And we, as service providers, we've got to make sure that we give all of our clients the best opportunity to be successful. So it's obviously internally now, 2021, we're just going to get to a position now where, one, like you just said, we're going to sign very select people to the agency, nail down our internal process. So it's easy to like get that particular client in, get it working straight away as soon as possible. Because, for example, the clients that we've got and have had for a little while, they're the easiest. It's when you bring new people in.
It's like clockwork.
It's like, that's when the system becomes a little bit more like we need to put a lot of time in to get that working.
Yeah. Well, we're trying to productize a system so we can onboard people
more efficiently.
Efficiently and fast, not just for us, but more so for them. The moment that they pay, within like a week or so, they're up and running and they're out to go and they're earning money. Because a lot of people, we had one guy come to us and he was with an agency for 3 months and they never sent one ad live.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
That is bad though.
What are you doing? Like, we hear so many people and they're like, 4, 5, 6 weeks. People wait for their ads to go live and stuff, which is just crazy. It doesn't need to take.
I mean, there's some things that we put in post production for a bit longer, but it's.
Oh no! He's not talking about a creative agency. He's talking about
a media buying agency.
He's talking about a media buying agency, which means like they click a button, he's onboarded, and they could have started working straight away.
And they could just press go live, and they just don't.
Yeah. What we do actually is well and truly just to take a month or 2 months to produce. We don't do that, but like
10 days, 14 days.
We could though. We could take a month to produce content, but we don't.
No.
But these guys are media buying.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So
I guess then, because I don't know if people know kind of like staff-wise what has changed and who you've got now, basically. Who the TYCA team actually are.
So introduce yourself.
Well, so I'm Karis, I'm the creative producer. So I kind of run the whole sort of creative team, work with Ash very closely on all the content for each month that we're doing with the clients. And then I run like all the logistics of all the shoots and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Really, don't I?
You've got a stew dog.
We've got Stuart.
It's not like on me, so I can't really say much, but
No.
I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
So Stu said he's enjoying it, and he hasn't got a mic, so he's not going to really say much.
That's all.
I would say
And then
a lot more, but
We're going to be, we're looking to onboard an office manager / like accounts manager to help more with the operations and logistics.
Yeah.
I'm currently back at doing the photography, but I really want to hire a photographer, so I don't have to do it as much. But graphic designer, so we can, it basically we'll be hiring people now. We're going to look to hire like 4 to 6 people over the rest of 2021, but every single person we hire will increase the value of the content that we're creating and the speed and the ability for us to like take brands from this level and shoot them to the next level in like the smallest space of time with the least amount of money, and essentially just create as much profit for these brands as we can.
It's more about now over delivering versus fulfilling. Like we can fulfill, that's not a problem. It's about
the client retention, isn't it? We want them to stay with us forever. They don't need to leave. Why would they need to leave?
We need to make it not make sense for anybody to go elsewhere or to do anything in-house. We are, as we even are now, we are way cheaper than if you hired, because we've taken on the staff bill.
Yeah.
If you think about it, we're way cheaper than if they were to hire individuals. Like if they were to hire a Stu, hire a you, hire a me, hire an Ash.
There is something to be said about that as well, because why I enjoy working in this environment is because it's like I know I'm not necessarily good at getting the business, but I'm really good at creating the content.
It's not what you're good at. It's not what you're good at, and honing in on it.
Yeah.
That's why I think it works, because everyone as an individual, we're all really good at what we do, and that's why it works so well.
Because even with Stu, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like we said he works at his best when he's creating.
Yeah.
Just creating.
Yeah.
Yeah, just give him what he needs to do, and then he just does it.
Karis is at her best when she's the boss.
Yeah,
she's in charge.
Karis is at her best when she's in full cracking the whip mode.
Get it done.
Ash, what?
It needs to be done. I'm the only female, so someone needs to do it.
Which is changing as well, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's changing.
Well, yeah, because when we hire new people, I'm gonna get some women to work for me, so it's gonna be good.
Because the company has been.
But even then, I'll be whipping them into shape. So I'll be whipping them into shape, literally the whole time. But it works, doesn't it?
The Karis is whipping everyone.
It does work though, I think, and I think, because I've been here for 7 weeks now.
7 weeks now, yeah.
And I think the way it was to what it is now, it's really, really improved for sure. And
we're actually ahead of schedule on content creation.
Yeah,
for the first time.
For the first time.
Ever.
It's exciting.
It's a nice feeling though.
It is a good feeling, because the best part about it is we're ahead, but all the content that we've done, we've not really had to reshoot anything recently. And to be fair, everyone loves Stu's videos.
Yes.
So big up Stu.
Just a beautiful human being.
He's a beautiful human being.
That's what he said.
Oh my god.
I might have to put the audio from the camera, so.
But it makes a difference though. Like, if you hit it right, if you put the time in the first time and hit it right from the first video and hit it right from the first time you run ads, it saves everyone a lot of time.
And money.
And money. Brands money, us money. So that's why, again, going around to that 2021 thing of like just making sure we're over delivering now, it benefits the clients, but it does also benefit us in the long run as well.
Yeah, it does.
Because for example, I don't want to say to you and Stu, this is okay, it's not really performing that good, so we've got to reshoot the whole thing again. It's 2 weeks for you, it's 2 weeks for the client, and it's essentially 2 weeks for me.
Yeah.
So it's like, just hitting it right from the first time. And we'll never ever hit every single one right from the first time.
It's a learning curve, isn't it, for everyone? And because each client is different, so each client, we kind of do have to produce different style of things for everyone. But I think I'm getting used to each client now and what sort of thing works, and especially for ads.
Yeah, it's different, right?
It's different. Because I worked in TV production, so I was just producing stuff for TV, whereas now I'm producing things for ads that are actually going to work with the audience. Yeah. So, I think
it's good. I think the first month, you know what works 50%. But by the second month, 90%. That first one tells a big story, But,
it does.
Yeah.
Well.
Is that all the questions?
Yeah.
Oh. How long has that been going on for?
It'll be approaching an hour of video.
Okay.
That's enough then.
I think it'll be a good time. I mean, it'll be a good time because this one's on 8%.
I'll just wrap it. Get this out, wrap it up then, yeah.
Wrap it up.
Okay. I'm expecting a full on wrapping up, guys.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. I'm so right, boy. Like
a what? A rapper?
Yeah, I can imagine Lloyd rapping right now.
I would, but it'd be so good it'd go viral. I don't want to do that. But yeah, so that was today's podcast. What we'll do maybe for next week, Ash, you can do like an Instagram story asking for questions and things like that.
Do a Q&A.
Yeah, do a bit of a Q&A. So if anyone's got any questions, they can just pop it in the TYCA Insta, your Insta.
Yeah.
I can do one.
I can do
You
one.
can do one. We'll just get a few questions. PG friendly,
Yes.
if possible. Because we do get the odd one, which is a bit dodgy, but we'll include it.
We can answer
We'll just
Yeah,
read
yeah,
section of the podcast.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah,
after
yeah.
it's like everything past this point is for 18 and a half.
18
Make sure you
times.
ask your mothers.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll see you next week.
Nice one. Cheers,
Hey.
guys.
Why do you